Do you need to go to the bathroom?
It hurts.
I'm sorry. Beyonce's got the talent to back it up. Sorry.
And she's got the talent.
She's got the talent.
I don't like sports.
Clearly.
I'm such a loser, sweating God, I'm the worst.
Hey, what's up, chat? Welcome back to the Woodsmen podcast. We're your hosts, Brent Murphy.
And Joey Rucker.
And man, it's good to be back, am I right?
It is.
You know, after a good solid week of not being here, after a good solid 2 weeks of not seeing our beautiful faces.
Yeah, you should miss us by now.
We are back and better than ever, as some would say. So, how have you been, man?
I've been good. It's been a relatively normal week, I would say. It's going to be ramping up quick for me in the end of February. The last 2 weeks of February, my work schedule is going to be a mother load.
Ooh, I am so sorry to hear that. I mean, honestly, I'm doing all right as far as work. We're about to pick up for March, so I'm just kind of waiting for that call. So
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, life has been kicking us in the groin lately, though. I mean,
It's been
how it be.
It's just like we said in the last episode, things have just been, we're tired. We're so tired.
Yeah. I feel like a grumbling 47-year-old, you know. I feel like I have outgrown this 24-year-old body that I'm currently living in.
You're ready to emerge from your shell as
I'm ready to emerge.
rightful.
I'm ready to emerge into retirement. That's what I'm ready. That's what I'm ready for. But honestly, guys, we got a great show for you tonight or today or whatever time you're listening to this podcast. You know, should be every Wednesday at 12. But you know,
we've been pretty consistent with that. I got to admit.
oh no, I just mean for chat. You know, they should be listening as soon as the episode
we
drops.
upload every week at 12 on Wednesdays, but you guys should definitely be listening at 12 o'clock.
It sounds like you guys have been slacking off from the recent numbers we've been seeing.
Actually, I wanted to bring up something about the podcast that I don't know if you saw or noticed yet.
I'm pretty far behind on this last week.
Buddy, first of all, the new Instagram is doing good, at Woodsman Pod. Please go follow.
Please.
But
I'm running it, so tell me what a bad job I'm doing and take the job away from me. That's what I'm hoping. Find someone better.
So the YouTube channel that we're currently... Oh, that's the wrong camera. Hi, guys. The YouTube channel, we just got our first 2 comments.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Got our first 2.
From people we know?
1. But not one I think you'd expect.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good or bad?
Good. Very
interesting.
So the first one, which is not someone we know.
Because I've been terrified of what the comment section would be on this, you know, just this overall show.
No, I'm very happy to say that. Well, one of them is literally like a spam comment because at first I was like, oh, this is interesting. I wonder what this is. And looking into it, it's like an empty channel on YouTube, but it's like a channel that's meant to make comments on random videos.
Oh, okay, got it.
So it's basic, but it's relative to the podcast, which is weird. It's basically a promo YouTube channel, so it's like meant to like allow you to use it to promote your channel, but like I don't know the ins and outs of it. And it's probably kind of a scam to just help them.
So it's like paying for followers on Instagram?
I think so. I think it's pretty much that exact thing. But, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, might as well, bro.
I think the channel had like 0 subscribers. So
they're not doing too good on their promoting from the sounds of it.
But the second one, that's the one that's interesting.
Okay.
First, I'll say that before we got the comment, we got the subscription from this person.
Okay.
Then we got the comment on episode 1 of
as long as we got
Woodsman, not OG Woodsman.
Oh, thank God.
The comment said, I would love to be on this podcast. It looks really fun. Or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing.
Okay, but like, who is it though?
drum roll, Greg Donnelly.
Really?
Yeah. Mr. Greg Donnelly.
My dog, Greg. Yes.
We would love to have you on
Want
the
to know
podcast.
something really funny? And like, this isn't even gassing him up because like he may be watching this episode, which is actually
might,
really
yeah.
crazy for me to like say. But like, weren't we just talking about Greg like recently?
Well, I don't know if it was recently. We may have talked about him recently in our own like off air.
Yeah,
But-
that's what I mean.
Oh
Just
my
like
God. Off air, I was telling you that my mom was talking about stuff we talked about on episodes. That's what it was. She mentioned that in a recent episode, or in one of our first episodes, like episode 3, we had talked about Greg. We talked about how we had the big snowstorm and how his dad got snowed in.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then you brought up him and we talked about him for a little bit. So we actually have talked about Greg on this podcast before.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, I was just thinking about Greg like the other day. Not in a weird way. That's but like,
I don't think anyone thought that until you said it.
well, not in a weird way, Greg, but I was thinking about you.
Yeah.
And
You were on his mind.
You were on my mind, bro. But no, I would love that. I think that would be such a fun.
It would be so much fun.
It'd be such a nostalgic episode. First of all, like the last time we have seen Greg chat was
Or
like,
talk to him.
or talk to him, like middle school. Maybe like once or twice during high school, like just like one or two
You,
text
though,
combo.
Not me. I haven't heard from this fool in No, okay, you know what? That's not true. You know, I actually have had a little bit of an encounter after middle school, and it was when I was... An encounter with Greg. You're on my mind too, Greg. But not in a weird way.
Not a weird way.
No, I was streaming for a little bit on Twitch, and he would join... No, it was on YouTube. I was streaming like Bioshock Infinite
Well,
or something.
get it together, Joey. Get it right. Was it Twitch or YouTube?
It was YouTube, I swear, because it was Bioshock Infinite, and he would join on one or two of the streams, and he'd just like say hello and like how you doing, and I was like, wow, this is great. I haven't heard from you since middle school.
Dude, that is so funny. Well, you know, to answer your question, Greg, yes. You know, you beat everyone out. You were the first one to not only, you know, comment, but you're probably going to be one of the first guests. So, you know,
Probably.
Cheers to you, man. Cheers to you. Well, the Super Bowl just happened.
Indeed, it did.
Who played in the Super Bowl this year, Joey?
It was.
By the way, Joey is a major football fan, by the way.
I know what you're doing, but it was the Kansas City Chiefs, and it was the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, you brought out where they're from, too.
Yeah,
You didn't even... Okay. And who won?
The Chiefs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Taylor Swift's boyfriend plays on that team.
No, he plays on the 49ers.
No, he doesn't, actually.
Wait. Don't gaslight me right now. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
You're gaslighting me.
Okay, chat.
am I
So
stupid?
Travis Kelce on the 49ers.
Wait, so... No.
Travis Kelce's on the Chiefs, buddy.
No, he's not. No, you're...
Yes, he...
You're... No, wait, I'm not dumb. Because I thought... Wait, no.
I
Because
can't wait.
I
can't wait for our
I was-
second,
I was
third,
doing
fourth, fifth, and
so
sixth
good.
comment
I was doing
to
so
be
good.
about Joey getting this answer wrong right now.
I thought he lost.
You're telling me with... No.
I thought the whole thing was he was on the 49ers, who we'll get into in a second, but was winning and then lost right at the end. I thought he was on that team.
No.
Wait, for real? On
So,
God?
anyways, let me give you guys a play-by-play on what happened, right? Mind you,
Deadass.
the only sport that I watch is hockey. Deadass, you're wrong.
Damn it.
So the 49ers were up pretty big the whole game, right? They were doing pretty solid. And let me find out in the last 3 seconds of the game. Joey's over here contemplating life right now.
I'm so broken
giving
inside. I
a
was so
play-by-play
excited to be
and-
like, I know exactly what's going on, and you just ruined me. Like,
I'm giving my play-by-play, and Joey's over here like low-key tearing up in the corner right now, like thinking about like all the negative comments that are gonna come through after tonight. Oh, man. So, anyways, yeah, the 49ers were rolling. They were doing phenomenal. And, of course, Kansas City just had to tie it up in the last 3 seconds. Shocker. They just happened to win the game.
Wait, so
definitely
Taylor
wasn't
Swift
script-
won?
Yeah.
I'm real broken.
Don't you
inside
feel
right
more
now.
mad now?
I'm so much more mad now. That's why I was like, what's the big deal with the Taylor Swift stuff? Like,
Yeah,
they
she
lost.
won.
Wow, my bad. Okay, continue. I don't
Well,
mean to keep interrupting you, but I'm
no,
having a
mean, we were already going to bring up Taylor Swift. You sound like you obviously have some pent-up rage against her. So why don't we talk about it? How do you feel that Taylor Swift is the biggest person in the world right now for no reason?
I don't you feel like she sort of goes through this wave like every other 5 years? Like, I swear, when we were kids, she was so big. She was like the big pop star for little girls, and then
Country pop, country.
excuse me.
But yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then now it's just another one of those waves where she started dating.
Everybody. She dates
Yeah.
everybody. I mean, Joey's on his own existential crisis right now because he can't remember Travis Kelce's name.
Travis Kelce. I was going to
But,
say. No, never mind. Never mind.
were you going to say Terrence? Like, what were you going to, like, what?
No, I was going to say Travis Scott. And then I was like, it's definitely Travis Scott.
Two different professions, bro. And most importantly, two different races. But, I mean, like,
Oh
you were
my
close.
God.
You were really close, man. Like,
I don't
you were on the money.
continue.
So...
I'm sorry.
So, anyways, I mean, you got Taylor Swift out here
Mm-hmm.
just for some reason the biggest person in the world. Why? I don't know. I mean, she's good. That's the thing I think a lot of people get wrong. When everyone hates on Taylor Swift, most of her fans, they will come at you at your throat. See, you're going to get all the football people to hate you, but I'm getting all the Swifties to hate me. But, like,
Yeah.
a lot of you guys that love Taylor Swift, you like to come at people's throats when they say anything ill about her. She's a good singer. She's a good she's a good artist.
She's naturally gifted in
she's,
singing. For
yeah,
sure.
she's a good artist. My problem is she's not that great. Like,
she's a good singer, but
but yeah,
kinda
see,
is just
here's the thing. For the amount of hype she has, her talent cannot back it up.
no,
And I
agree
think that's
with you on that,
that's a fair statement. I think you're allowed to say something like that. I'm not saying she's a bad artist. I still occasionally listen to some T Swizzle. Like,
Some T-Swiss.
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with listening to Taylor. But what is wrong is, why is she everywhere? Why?
That's the real question.
Like,
I don't
why?
know how she is
Like,
so famous.
And I don't, like, at this point, it's not PR. Her PR management isn't that good. Like, why is she
No,
that famous?
I don't know.
Why is she that big?
She got so much spotlight on the cams during the Super Bowl and
Yeah.
there were some big celebrities.
There were some
at this
actually
place.
here.
Like,
I can even read you off a list because I even took notes. Mind you, like, I'm very salty about this Taylor Swift stuff. By the way, if you guys couldn't tell, I took a whole list of celebrities that were there. Yet she still got the most time on screen compared to any of the. We're talking Beyonce. We're talking like what you.
that's a wild one.
What women also consider Queen Bee. Was shown twice in the Super Bowl while Taylor was shown 12. That is wild.
That's an insane ratio.
Like, right? Like, that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
insane to me. Like, because to me, I'm sorry. Beyonce's got the talent to back it up. Sorry.
And she's got the talent.
She's got the
to back
talent.
it
Hey,
up. Hey, yo.
hey, yo. I didn't know you were into Queen Bee like that, Joey.
Yeah, you know.
Been single long enough.
Exactly.
That's right, Joey. Hey, well, you're gonna have to take that up with Jay-Z, bro. He might have to give you some of that Brooklyn. Like, I don't know, man. But let me tell you now. Back to the list of celebrities,
Sure,
right?
sure.
We got Taylor Swift, obviously. we're not gonna go any farther into that. We got rapper Ice Spice, who was also surprisingly in the same box with Taylor. Apparently they're friends. Yeah. I didn't know that her and Ice Spice were friends. That's very interesting to me. They seem like they would not be like a duo. Like I just don't see.
It's just
it's
just one of those
mixing.
Weird connections that you're like, oh.
You're like, oh, okay. That's interesting. Like, yeah, okay. So we got Ice Spice. We got Blake Lively, who is also in the box with Taylor, because apparently they're all friends. I mean, I would be friends with Taylor Swift too if it meant I was on TV as much as they were.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, they got on TV a lot because of her. But we have Usher, obviously. Mm-hmm. Alicia Keys. Jermaine Dupri. I actually didn't know who that was before.
Don't think I do.
I think they performed with Usher. And I'm going to sound so uncultured. Like, this is probably some really big person.
This whole Super Bowl part of the episode is going to make us both look so bad.
I mean,
me more than
just
you?
anything involving the Super Bowl is making us look really bad right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Travis Scott was Travis Scott playing for the 49ers, man. That's
Shut your dirty mouth. I don't like sports.
Clearly. We can't make this up, people. This was not planned. Oh, man. Well, we did figure out quite a bit of things this episode. Joey doesn't know sports. I hate Taylor Swift, and
Travis Scott
played for the 49ers. We didn't think we'd get this far, man. But we are still currently we skipped housekeeping pretty much. I mean, we said 2 things and we were straight on it.
Sometimes there's not much housekeeping to talk about. That's just how it goes.
Sometimes the house be kept.
Yeah. Sometimes our cabin is just clean.
We just got a tidy cabin, man. I don't know. So we got all these people. We got will.i.am, Lil Jon. We got her.
Oh, will.i.am was there? I didn't know that.
Yeah. He played for the halftime show with Usher.
I thought you were going to say he played for the 49ers or something, and I was like, listen, I'm dumb.
Nah, he actually played for the Ravens, bro. Like, he almost made it, but
yeah.
But anyways,
had it, but
you also had Reba McEntire. Like, I'm talking, this is a full shift of people, man. You went from like Taylor Swift, but we went from Taylor Swift to like R&B, with Usher, all the greats. Alicia, my girl. I didn't even do that over my heart. That was just full sternum.
Full sternum.
You guys get the point.
One would argue that's more sentimental.
The sternum is pretty sentimental. Yeah. We already discussed Jay-Z, Beyonce. They were there. Post Malone, he also played.
I also didn't know he was there.
He played America the Beautiful, and it was very good. He did a really good job. I'm proud. Brings a tear to my eye. But you got some pretty big people. But we also had Justin and Hailey Bieber also makes an appearance. Yep. It's been like 2 years since Justin's last public
end of an era, man.
Public debacle.
Yeah.
But he was there. He was actually asked by Usher to play for the Super Bowl. We don't know what happened there, but he turned it down.
That. He didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Weird.
I mean, I've heard quite a bit of different things. I'd like to imagine it was the good reason and that he said that he wanted Usher to shine. It was Usher's moment. Whether or not that actually happened, I don't know. But I'd like to think that, JB was a cool guy about it. Mm-hmm. But, so you got a lot of big people. We also got the Kardashians. So you already know it's a party when one of the Kardashians are there. But you got Khloe and you got Kendall Jenner.
And somehow
it's a party.
Taylor Swift still got the most screen.
Ungodly
ratio.
Think about all those names that we just listed. Taylor Swift still had more.
Yeah. It's just because she's internet, popular right now. And I don't mean, she's always been famous. But, like I said, there's waves of it. And she's going through another one of those ones where she's getting memed all the time. And, she's part of every news story. Yeah. Oh, I agree. Yeah. But
Because she definitely didn't know what was happening in the Super Bowl.
No, there's so many clips of her where she just looks more confused than I am.
And
Like,
we don't know
watching
sports.
football. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Taylor
Clearly,
Swift
you
is
know him way more than I do, but
a little bit here and there.
you're more into hockey.
I'm a hockey guy.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, catch me on the whitest sport like ever. Like
No, hockey's fun.
hockey
I mean,
is,
but
but
I'm
you're
also
white.
still ignorant to that too. Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
It's a pretty redneck white sport. Canadian redneck.
I'm gonna do my best here. I'm gonna name you some like quick fire hockey teams that I can name off the top of my head. You stop me when I'm wrong.
Okay.
Ontario Reign,
That's AHL, but yeah.
whatever. It's hockey. The Penguins,
Okay.
the Kings.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my God, I thought that was gonna be
Three for three.
And
Get to 5. If you can get to 5, we're good.
the Knights.
The Golden Knights, yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Golden Knights.
One more.
Yeah. And the Bears. No.
You were close. I mean, there's the Sharks.
Oh, are there Sharks?
There are the Sharks, yeah.
Damn. Well,
Yeah. I mean, it was a good
I
attempt on
named
it
more than I thought I was
for
going.
someone who
Yeah.
does not watch any hockey. I
Yeah.
am surprised that you got that many teams. But I mean, moving away honestly from the Super Bowl stuff, I think we got most of that covered.
Yeah.
The main topic for the night, I think, is a pretty good one. Joey actually came up with this one, even though it was technically my turn to choose. But why don't you lead the people, the great people, into what we will be diving into?
So Brent came to me with the idea of talking about the Super Bowl and some of the.
Oh, yeah, we were also going to talk about the fact that the Super Bowl is definitely scripted, but
Yeah.
I didn't really
That'll
get
take
any.
a long time to
Yeah,
get
I
it,
didn't even try to do any research for
The
that.
main thing I got from it was there was a conspiracy about the colors of the logos matching the teams that were going to be in it, so it was all rigged for who's actually going to play. And it kind of worked out for like 2022 and 2023, but I guess it didn't follow the trend in 24. So I mean, kind of debunked, but like that's the idea of that topic too was sort of what inspired me to come up with today's topic, which is discussing the Mandela effect, a very popular. Wow. Yeah, the Mandela effect is, so for those of you who don't know, is a story about Nelson Mandela, and the main story, I can give a couple fun facts, but the main story for the most part is that a lot of people thought that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 80s, but then he actually lived until 2013, and so a lot of people were like, wait, no, I remember him dying. And then more and more people came out and they were like, no, you're right. I remember him dying too. And then it became
Bro had to come out and give a statement saying like, oh, no, I'm still here.
I'm still kicking. Yeah. And so this basically sparked what is now known as the Mandela effect. And according to, I believe it was the medical something. We'll have it listed in our references. It was the medical.
For once we actually have our links written down.
Yeah. We actually really tried to make it like we're not just BSing any of this. We're actually
tried to do some real grown men pull up the pants.
We've done more research for this podcast than
I've
did in
ever
high school.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, man, Wikipedia was my friend.
Yeah, mine too, man. Mine too. But no, so the Mandela defined in this article is defined as a type of false memory that occurs when many people incorrectly remember the same thing. It refers to a widespread false memory that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 80s. And so this sparked a big journey.
Wait, people thought he died in the 80s?
Yes, because he was put in prison in 1964, I believe, 1963, 1964.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was like that far back. I thought maybe like 2009 or something.
No,
people were like, oh yeah, this dude died.
Yeah, no, it was
But,
in
like-
the 80s that people thought he died in prison. because he was
what?
sentenced to like 27 years in prison.
Yeah.
And the reason was, and I didn't know this, and we were talking about this off air, was because he was fighting against segregation laws.
This man was a badass. This, like, the amount of things that this man has done in the civil rights, like, movement is just phenomenal. Like, my invisible hat tips to you, sir.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, you RIP to a legend, like a real one, like an actual, like, legend. Like, I mean, you did a lot of research on this man. I don't even know like half the stuff this man was doing, but this was all like pretty new research for you.
Yeah,
Like,
this
you
was
didn't
all
really know
brand
much.
new stuff for me. He like I said, everybody thought he died back then, but in fact he died in 2013. He was released. I'm not going to try and quote the number of how many years before his initial release date happened, but he actually then went on, like he had a whole life. He went on in 1994 to become the president of the African, let me see if I can find, the African National Congress. And so like he was still like to the end of his life, like fighting for like
Just
to go
doing
get-
what he
yeah.
could. Like,
It's a crazy story. But as most of you probably have heard, and as we're going to discuss in this, podcast, there's a lot more Mandela effects that have come out since this story, where people have experienced things and experienced memories that they truly believe happened, but never happened. They don't exist.
and I'm talking like, I mean, it's one thing to hear people say like, oh, you know, what is it, the Peanuts man with the monocle, or is it the Monopoly man?
There
It's
is one
of
for the
them,
Peanuts
one of
Man,
them.
but I think the Monopoly Man is the one without the monocle.
Yeah, so like I know there's ones like that. I never, if I'm gonna be honest, paid attention that hard on the guy on the Monopoly box. Like I just
Yeah.
that was never a thing for me. But when there are ones where you specifically were like, there's no way that was not how that was. And we went through this firsthand. I thought Curious George had a tail.
It's so
Like,
funny.
and I was combative about the fact that this monkey had a tail.
You and I had like almost a fight about it. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
you were getting angry. You were like, no.
Because there's no way that monkey didn't have a tail when I was young. There's just no way.
And then we ended up watching the movie together.
We
and you were
watched
like,
the whole
"It's
Curious
gotta be
George
edited."
movie.
Like they changed it. They changed it after.
I'm convinced, bro. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Like, I always will remember Curious George in the little comic strips having his tail, bro.
Never had one.
Nah.
And this like.
And
is
this is the example that we are talking
Yeah.
about, because it is insane when you think about actual physical things that you have believed. Same thing with people like Luke, I am your father. Personally, that wasn't that big to me. I know that one was big for you.
It was a big one for me because I
Like-
was just well, because when you're a kid, I feel like that's just one of those quotes that you always say to your friends. And I remember going around the playground and stuff, and always just being like, "Luke, I am your father," or whatever, just being goofy. And but then then I heard about this Mandela effect, where it's like he never said Luke. He was just like, "No, I am your father," and you're like,
Like,
what? What are you talking about? That wasn't how they, and I honestly almost convinced myself that they did edit it because, they made edits to those movies afterwards, like
Yeah.
when they implemented Hayden Christensen into the Force Ghost at the end instead of the original actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I honestly almost convinced myself that it was edited so that I was meant to believe it.
I mean, as we're going to find out very shortly down this list, there are quite a bit of things that we grew up on, especially, that somehow have this weird effect to where, it's always been like this? There's no way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, especially even shows like, I'm sorry, the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstain Bears or whatever.
Berenstain,
Like,
yeah.
we grew up watching that. I mean, at least I did. I
I
grew up watching
I watched
PBS.
a couple episodes
like,
of Berenstain.
yeah, because they would always come on when we were like, younger, but it was always on later at night. So I always remember kind of like falling asleep to it, like being on just a little bit, because then I would change the channel like every.
That was back in the era of like Arthur and
Yeah,
Little Bill
Caillou
and
and all that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dragon Tales.
Exactly. So you remember the era quite well. It was a good era for kid
era,
shows.
yeah.
It was a phenomenal kid show era. But I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't remember the names. That was not a big one for me.
For what?
At
What
all.
do you-
The Bernstein Bears.
I could never.
Name
it, yeah.
It was big because we watched it all the time. That was not something I was paying attention to. But stuff like Jif and Jiffy.
This one is a hard one to really swallow because you're like, no, I mean, I don't know about you.
I would say Jiffy.
I would say Jiffy too.
Yeah.
I'd always say Jiffy.
So, and the argument for that one, I know, by the way, I did like all this build up for the Berenstain Bears just for me to
Jiffy
say.
and Curious George.
Just to say that, like, I don't remember that one at all, but like, I caught you on your feet, chat. Stay prepared. Never let them know your next move. So, anyways, people are trying to say that others were getting confused with Jiffy with Skippy.
Which is a valid argument.
It is,
but it's kind of.
that's not. I mean, two P's. I would not get that confused.
Yeah.
With two F's. Like,
no, I don't think I would either.
I just don't
I
see
clearly
that
remember
being...
Jiffy. Like I remember opening it up like when I would make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as a kid. Like it was Jiffy.
It was Jiffy
or
peanut butter.
Creamy.
Like, yeah. So I'm glad we're both on that. Maybe because I love peanut butter. Like,
So do I.
I have like a really bad obsession with peanut butter. I mean, I just sit there with a spoonful of peanut butter and milk, and that's good. I'm good for the rest of my life. I'm good. That's the only meal I need, bro. But
That's it.
yeah, that's it. But when it's something that you use every day, if you were getting made peanut butter and jellies every day as a kid, you're gonna remember something like that. And I clearly will never get it confused with Skippy.
There's honestly a lot of food related weirdly enough like Mandela effects, which is kind of strange. Like I know Kit Kats that's a weird one.
Yeah, with the dash.
Like pretty much everyone and their mother thinks that there's a dash in between Kit and Kat, but
apparently there's never been a thing.
Never been one.
Never. I don't like that one. There's also one with Cheez-It and Cheez-Its. Yeah. By the way, did you know that it was It's with a Z? Cheez-Its.
No, I think I knew that.
Okay. Now, if you knew that, how would you know that if it's Cheez-It?
Wait. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Is it Cheez-It or is it Cheez-Its?
I thought it was Cheez-It.
I think it is Cheez-It. Wait a minute.
Then how would you know that it's a Z instead of an S?
Dude,
and
it's
happening.
happening.
And how do both of us know that?
Why? Yeah. Are we? Yeah, that's so weird. I remember there being a Z on it for Cheez-Its. Is it Cheez-Its or is it? If it's not Cheez-Its,
chat, drop a comment.
Please drop a comment.
Please.
Let us know.
This is going to be our most comment-filled episode.
We literally came here prepared, and now we're already suffering from the problem that is the Mandela effect.
I'm already like a little mind blown right now and a little bit scared.
Mm-hmm. So am I.
Might have peed myself a little bit.
I did a little more than that.
Well, do you need to go to the bathroom?
It hurts.
I thought you were gonna say I need a new pair of pants, but like that one was just concerning.
That's gotta be one of my
clip it
sack of meat.
That's gonna be one of mine. Yeah, that is your equivalent to my sack of meat
it
joke.
Hurts.
It's just the quiver that makes it so perfect. Like,
oh man.
Oh, okay. Now breaking away from food, there are a few more Mandela effects, but we might only go over one. Mm-hmm. But the Fruit of the Loom one is probably the craziest.
Weird. Like this one is very strange. And I know I kind of brought this to your attention, but
this trips me up now.
Did you have like Fruit of the Loom underwear and stuff growing up? Yeah, you did, right?
I swear there was a cornucopia.
Cornucopia, right?
Like yeah.
And
I never remember not having a cornucopia because I always was curious as to what is that. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't know,
that's a good point.
Because I didn't know what it
kids,
was.
It was like, that's a weird basket.
I thought it was like I thought it was a wicker basket, like a conical wicker basket,
so did I. Like it's a weird, honestly.
like a Smurf hat, but made out of wicker for fruit. So go on, the Fruit of the Loom.
Fruit of the Loom. So the thing with Fruit of the Loom, obviously, as we have, obviously stated now, a lot of people remember Fruit of the Loom as having a cornucopia in the background that was holding all of the fruit. This is a company that basically, they don't just make clothes, do they?
I think
they make a whole assortment of things, I think, or at least through the years.
Well, I think they make an assortment of clothes. I think they make like undershirts, underwear, socks, wife beaters, like all that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this thing got so popular that in like June of 2023, I believe, they actually made a like tweet on their Fruit of the Loom.
And you said 2023?
I think so, yeah.
So that's pretty yeah. June 26th.
June 26th. They made an official comment because this thing had started going way out of hand. Everybody was getting mad because they were like, why do none of these newer aged logos not have the cornucopia in it? And so Fruit of the Loom themselves actually came out and like on their webpage for their actual like products and everything, they on their homepage just have a timeline of like since the 60s to now to the 2020s, how their logo has evolved over the years. And none of them, not a single one, had the cornucopia on it, which made everyone more mad.
I mean, that's just very curious. Like, I just don't... Because if that many people have thought that has always been there. Like, I don't know. That's just so weird to me.
But like, you do remember
if there's
it. You do remember
I clearly remember the cornucopia being there.
And you know what's honestly the weirdest thing about the fact that we all remember it? It's there. Cornucopias exist, but this cornucopia logo was a very specific shape. Like, oddly specific. Because have you seen a cornucopia in real life?
It was oddly specific, set up with all the other things in the logo. Mm-hmm, like that's I think what made it so impressionable as to there's no way I'm mistaking that not being a cornucopia in the Fruit of the Loom logo. Like,
and so this is sort of where the story gets a little wild, because when all this happens, and it's happened a lot, we talked about Jiffy, Cheez-Its, the Nelson Mandela. It's kind of just one of those phenomenons where everybody sort of agrees.
The Nelson
Mandela. Everyone sort of just agrees that, I guess we were wrong, but that's so weird. I guess it's another Mandela effect. Until, like, last year, some stuff came out against Fruit of the Loom. And this actually happened on a TikTok video, and it happened on a subreddit. I believe the subreddit post happened first, but I could be wrong. One of the two, but it was all last year, which is actually wild how recent it is.
Technically this year, because we're technically only in the second month of this.
It hasn't even been that long.
Yeah.
But basically what happened was there was a subredditor who posted and like in all caps just said something along the lines of like, I told you guys, I knew it was true. And what she has in the photo is a picture of a shirt, and the brand logo tag on the back is Fruit of the Loom with all the fruits, but it has a cornucopia on it, which broke the internet. And then fairly recently, before or after that, a TikTok came out of a woman who was talking about how her and her sister were looking through some old clothes because of this whole effect.
Yeah. Found
another shirt which also had the cornucopia in the logo, which sparks so many more questions, you know?
Because at this point, is the company lying to, like, the people who buy their products?
Yeah. And if they are, why?
Like,
Like, it doesn't.
because I still just don't understand, like, even with that kind of press, what is that doing with your sales? By like claiming that that doesn't exist when so many people feel like they definitely remember this happening, like, or this being a part of their logo. Like, I just don't get what is there to gain unless it's not from them but coming from a higher power or authority.
Could be coming from someone from Fruit of the Loom. It could be a higher up from the government. Could be something even higher than that.
Could be the government, bro. I don't think God cares that much about cornucopias being in logos.
Well, maybe it's not God.
That is true.
Could
be our programmers.
It could be something else. Like,
we are in Ready Player One.
It's just weird because, like, seriously, like, what does it mean? You know, like, I don't understand.
I mean, obviously, it's got to mean there's, infinite parallel universes.
This is
the TVA is
and
real.
Actually, I'm sorry, I have not been changing to you for just a minute here, but this actually is funny because there are. I'll put the quote right in here now because I'm tired of not remembering a quote.
Oh, by the way, we're also gonna put that picture of the Fruit of the Loom stuff.
Yes,
up
we'll show
right
you guys
here, like right now.
Right now,
wherever right here. Yeah.
Did you like that editing? It was good.
Yeah.
But I'll find the quote and I'll have it play here so that it's more realistic. But there was a quote that was basically just saying, like, the idea of parallel universes actually, like, or the idea of the Mandela effect supports the idea of the multiverse.
Yeah. And that's funny because I also have a quote that semi says that same exact thing. It was taken from Fathoming the Mandela Effect, Deploying Reinforcement Learning to Untangle the Multiverse. First of all, wild title.
Wild name, yeah.
Second of all, wild title to be a peer-reviewed student. Like this is in a student library. So that is pretty crazy. But the quote is, albeit within the multiverse, the casualty of the Mandela effect is entirely possible. Now, this is coming from a peer-reviewed scholarly journal article entry from a school. And they're claiming that, like,
it's super
the
interesting
Mandela
that it's coming
effect,
from something like that.
that
Instead of
this
just
is
a random article online.
Yeah, because, don't get me wrong. For someone who loves their conspiracy theories and loves all their alien talk and stuff, I really do believe in the scientific method, in that I think if we can physically prove that there is something, like, mysterious, like, that we just don't understand, that's out of our comprehension, I'm all ears. I'm not someone to just disprove science based on disproving science.
Yeah.
Like, science has given us a lot of technological advances, and, there's just too much to try and, I guess, discredit all of that, know? So I think it's very interesting that you have people who actually are of scientific mind, who know what they're talking about, saying, like, well, it's feasible.
And so basically, I think, I don't know if we've specifically explained it, but I think the reason that it technically allows for the idea of the multiverse to be relevant and real is because the theory is that if you experience a Mandela effect, that you believe, that you remember so wholeheartedly that basically you had a moment where you saw or you went into another reality for a time, something like that?
Yeah, so digging up whatever I could find on this, I think the one definition that I really kind of liked, that kind of explained it well for, like, dumb people like me, it says that many believe that the Mandela effect has something to do with a possible shift in a parallel dimension and that it could be possible for individuals to have experienced this shift, but not others.
Yeah, which is insane to
So
think
that
about.
some people are more like in tune with something
Yeah.
that allows them to, like, I guess, break the matrix, so to speak, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like to actually see something like oh, that's weird. Like that
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. Now, if you don't really believe in multiverses and all that kind of stuff, which you might not, I mean, we got it in Marvel, so it, kind of
I mean,
it kind of has to be true.
Do you believe in it? Like, I know because obviously
I
we've
think
mentioned
it's
it 1,000
interesting.
times. We are Christians and we believe in God and his power and all that stuff. But like, for instance, like the Big Bang Theory, like there's it's not necessarily unfathomable to think that maybe the Big Bang Theory was just how God made the universe, and that's just very vague. And I know some people will come at me for that, but like, there are ways that you can tie scientific theory into Christian belief.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, I mean, it's not unfathomable, like I said again, that there could be alternate universes. I mean, it's weird, but it's...
I mean, yeah, well, I guess the whole concept of multiverses, I think we don't really understand what any of these concepts that we are coming up with mean. Like, you have to think these are people who don't really understand the phenomena themselves.
Yeah.
Terming something.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And giving it a definition when, by all definition, they have no idea what it is. For all we know, if it's not multiverses, it could be another form of tulpas, which we've already discussed in previous episodes, where you get a whole group of people to focus in on something very intently that they physically create it or manifest it. Like, there are a lot of things that coincide with each other that are all strange or abnormal or paranormal experiences.
Yeah.
So for me to say, like, do I think the Mandela effect is like a parallel dimensional shift? I don't know. Is there definitely 100% something weird? For sure.
And that's like the biggest thing about it. That's why the Mandela effect is so popular, is because whether it's higher ups trying to manipulate what our history is, or if it's alternate dimensions, or if it's truly that we all just sort of weirdly come up with these memories that we truly think are real, the Mandela effect is weird. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
And like, we were also talking about it off cams too. What does it mean having physical proof of something that is a Mandela effect that we have, like that is physically there, like the shirt with the actual logo with the cornucopia on it?
Yeah.
What does that mean then?
Yeah, because that just makes more questions than answers.
Because then if you have something physical, then what's physically going on? Are there people lying on purpose?
Or are people actually somehow bringing something over?
Are they, or is something manifesting?
That's true. Yeah, we've talked
Like,
about manifesting a lot on this too.
Are you manifesting it like you would a tulpa? Like, I mean, like, I just don't understand.
If so many people believe that this occurrence happened, whether it's Fruit of the Loom, Kit Kat, Mandela, like, if so many people believe it, did it happen? Now, I mean, obviously Mandela didn't die in the 80s. So, like, there are aspects where it's not, you can prove that it's not true, or it is true, but
it's
it's like you said,
it's
Fruit of the Loom
proving
is
what
weird.
causes it.
Yeah.
It's like you can prove that there's obviously something weird there, but what is the weird thing? Because if it is physical, then the weird thing would be, why are higher up people lying about something very untrivial?
Yeah.
Something that would not matter. Why would it matter if there was a cornucopia in your logo or not? Unless there's some other reasoning for doing that.
Yeah. And I think
now, then if it's not physical and it is a parallel dimensional shift, how are you getting it back here? And then how are you experiencing a parallel dimensional shift? Is that in your head?
it could be a conscious thing. Like, it could just be that you experience something on the other side, whatever the other side is, and then when you get back, because you're back in your life, your body, your soul, that's another thing. It could just be a soul thing.
But
when
wouldn't
you
that
get back, it's like almost maybe trying to make you think, oh, that's not possible because it's not possible here. But if you have memory of it, that's another thing.
But
if it is a dimensional thing,
that's my
why
thing.
would you remember it?
Well, like that's not even my. I'm way past.
You're more on
that.
physical.
I'm way more on how, if that's the case, because like I'm on board with that. Like that if it were something like that, it's not really you're physically leaving here and going to another. That it's a more soul or consciousness kind of thing. But then wouldn't you be the only one seeing the cornucopia on the logo? How do you have something physical that you are showing people that we physically see? We physically see a cornucopia. It'd be different if they were like, look, I found a shirt with the cornucopia on it, and it's just a picture of a shirt with the logo with no cornucopia on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're, in their mind, seeing that.
And what's weird about the cornucopia one is the fact that there's 2 instances. It's still not a lot,
Yeah.
and that is a big argument with it, is that, like, if there's only 2 shirts, how are you going to really use that as, like, foolproof?
Yeah.
But at the same time, having 2 is a lot more weird than having 1. It makes it a whole lot weirder to think about.
Well, and, like, think of what that means. Because we were joking about it earlier, too, about, like, well, you could just make a logo with the cornucopia and then just buy a Fruit of the Loom shirt and then put that logo on it, But, like, the chances of you going out and just making one for a picture,
it's weird.
Like, just who would do that? Like, I mean, yeah, you could very well do that full 20,000 people on Twitter or something, get famous off of one post. But, like, what do you gain from making one shirt to prove a point where people already believe that exists? It's just it almost disproves it more as far as, like, maybe this is real. Like, maybe there is something weird going on, because it's like, and for 2 people in 2 separate places, too. It's not like they both know each other and they both happen to find shirts at their houses. Like, these are 2 complete strangers living in 2 completely different places that both believe that the Mandela effect thing is real, especially with the Fruit of the Loom shirt, and then happen to find it. Like, that's weird.
Honestly, the Mandela effect really gives me sort of one of the, and I don't know if you, like, have it too, but there are certain things in life where when I have that feeling, I feel sick to my stomach. And this one isn't as bad, but I'll give you an example of one in a second here that really messes with me. But, like, when you think of, what's it called, the Mandela effect, and you see all these instances where people are either proving it or fighting for it or, like, whatever, and then you also agree with their takes. Like, it's just like we said, like, when you hear something like Jiffy and you're like, wait, it's not Jiffy, and then you realize you're part of it. Like, you didn't know you were part of it, but now you're part of it.
You got sucked into something you didn't even know existed until that moment.
That feeling is like a sinking feeling for me. And the one that hurts me more, literally every time it happens to me, I almost have to throw up. I'm not joking. Is nostalgia. I don't know if you, like, I know it's a little off topic.
What do you mean?
You know the feeling of nostalgia where you're like, oh, I feel like I've been here before. Or,
isn't that just deja vu?
I'm sorry. Did I say nostalgia? My bad. But yeah, I know these terms just as
You're
much
tired,
as I know.
Bro.
I'm really tired. Deja vu.
You need to go memes.
I'm so mad that I got that wrong, because yes, it's deja vu. Every time I feel deja vu, I hate it. And I don't know if you have it too, but, like, it's something about the feeling of, like, because the thing about deja vu, and I don't want to go on this trail too long, but I do want to just say, the thing that makes it bad for me about deja vu is the fact that there's so many little specific things that I remember happening. Like, I'll remember where placements of objects were. I'll remember what I was thinking in the moment. I'll remember like who was there, like, and it's the fact that all those puzzle pieces line up in a moment you're just now experiencing for the first time. I hate it. I hate it so much. Maybe I'm just crazy.
Or did you?
Or did I? Maybe I did experience it at some point. Or maybe it was...
Well, I mean, maybe you're experiencing everything all at once.
That's true.
See, that's again, we can't go down that trail because I will be down that for literal hours. But, I mean, when you don't think of time as a line, it's very easy to see everything happening all at once being a real possibility. So, I mean, everything with people thinking they see ghosts and everything. Okay, I mean, could be just imprints of things that have already been happening and things that already will be happening all at once.
And if you want to know more about our thoughts on that, make sure to go check out the time travel episode of the Woodsmen podcast.
Yay, there we go. Just a little plug.
No, yeah, it's just weird, the whole Mandela effect thing. And I don't know, like, where do you even stand on it? Like, do you have opinions on it or takes, or like, do you...
I think that the whole situation, but first of all, I mean, it exists for sure. Whatever the phenomena is, whatever is actually happening, it's definitely happening.
Yeah.
What it is, no idea.
What would you rather it be? Like, what of the...
I would rather be something more supernatural than physical.
Really? You'd rather it be like something dimensional or something like that rather than it being like the government lying to us?
Well, yeah, because then you have to think the intentions of the government to lie to us about something like that would be how much can we get away with lying to people and them accepting it.
It puts you in even less of a sense of control.
Because then you have to ask yourself, why are they doing that and what are they gearing me up for?
Yeah.
That's going to be the big thing. To see
Am I just
what
a
I'm
pawn
going to
in whatever this game of chess is.
Exactly. So I think personally, at least if it's something like dimensional or like something unexplainable, at least it's unexplainable and I don't have to worry about it. If it's something physical and I actually, if it's a government thing, then you actually have to worry about it. So It
is weird. I don't know where I stand. I think... I agree with you to an extent that I hope it's not the government or some higher-ups, because I would feel more controlled and I would feel more like I'm less in control of my life. But at the same time, then it's more feasible for me to understand, and that almost makes me feel a bit more content, I guess, and a little more safe, which is weird.
But that's the difference between me and you, bro. That you've always been like that.
It's true.
You haven't been on that other side gang
for long. Since we started this podcast, I've gotten a lot farther onto that side of things.
Don't you think that's very interesting?
Yeah.
When you actually research things, you finally start to realize, like, dang, things are actually more connected than you would think they would be.
Ever since the freaking shadow ghost, which we've talked about on air, I think there was the Christmas episode for the first time.
One of these days we'll put that up. You know what, chat? For y'all that don't know, well, no one knows because they haven't seen the pictures, but this is what Joey saw. Right here. Pretty crazy.
And, now that you have seen it, you're probably going to, debate it, but...
They're probably going to say, like, what am I looking at?
Yeah. Because if you need to know, I'll do another zoomed in photo right here. This is specifically the part that really messed with me. And basically, we've talked about it before, but it's just a shadow creature that...
Absolute fact. It's like, this shadow creature.
No, it could be something else, but, we did a lot of thinking about it. And
we did a lot of
tests. And
I think that's what makes it creepier. I think what's creepier is, first of all, the fact that it was in my truck, but I didn't see it. Mm-hmm. It's creepier that the only person that I know that is as skeptical as they are was the one who saw it.
Yeah.
And then it's even more creepy that not only we got a picture of it, but that we couldn't recreate it. That's what was creepy.
That was the worst part, was that I tried to make the photo again in 1,000 ways.
And I'm talking minutes after it happened. Like
Yeah,
we're not talking like days after. I'm talking like after this happened, Joey was like, "Turn your lights back on." Like turn the car back on. Like
it was. And so even, some of our fans could be skeptics. Honestly,
Whether
if you're
you
following
believe
this
it or
podcast,
not.
you might actually not be skeptics for all we know.
Hopefully not.
But
No, I think a healthy level of skepticism is
yeah,
always good.
I think so too.
But be open. Be open to things that you don't understand. You know?
But ever since that day, that's where things like deja vu and the Mandela effect and ghosts and 411 and Bigfoot and all that stuff, all those stories, aliens. We've talked about so many stories like that on here so far, and all that stuff was a lot more grounded for me to be able to comprehend and think about and believe in, somewhat, than it was prior. And that's just what makes the Mandela effect even worse for me, because it's like, if it is something big, if it's something like we're not even it could be something bigger than we even think. We're just like talking right now. We're having a discussion about what this could be. It could be something unfathomable.
Imagine people who like have devoted their whole lives to cracking the code of what this is, bro. Like,
And it's scary. It really is. And like, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm scared.
When you start to have a clear head and an open mind to not just like ideas, but just conversation on random and different ideas, I think you begin to realize just how little we really are in this world and how much of a task it is for us to live in it, as bleak as that sounds, but we're small, and
That's
there are
true.
a lot of things we don't understand, and there are a lot of things we probably are never going to understand, but yet we somehow always find ways to make people feel even smaller than they already are for their beliefs
That's
and their
true,
opinions.
yeah.
Like, we're all small. We all don't understand what's going on. Like, we just don't. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's where the healthy level of being a skeptic and a healthy level of a believer come in. And it's up to you to kind of decide whether or not you want to kind of have fun with life. Like, it's boring to go through all of life thinking everything is so technical.
Yeah.
When we know that there are things we don't understand. So, like, why not be open to any of it,
I've always thought that sort of mentality. Like, I've been a skeptic before, obviously, but I think there is honestly just there's a thing about being open to the idea of things that is almost freeing. And I think that's something we are, and will be talking about more on this podcast, is just the idea of being open to some of these crazy phenomenons and some of the crazy topics that the world has created for us. And I think that's just, it's fun. It's scary at times when you get into things like shadow demons, but other times it's interesting to contemplate like just what exactly the Mandela effect is.
Well, and I think to experience something unexplainable is really a gift, And to be able to, I mean, I know like for you it was a little like traumatizing, mainly because you've never had anything like that.
It was
happen to you?
It was the happening on the most random of a day, completely just no intoxication of any kind. It was Tuesday.
Two dudes hanging, literally.
It's weird, and yeah.
But it really is a gift. It's a gift because not everyone. I mean, that's such a rare occurrence to have. Maybe like 20% of the population get to experience something truly, unexplainable, know? And count yourself lucky, bro. You were one of the few.
You've had your moments too, of course. I mean, you've had things that you've seen that no human should see.
Yeah. But I mean,
nothing quite to that level where it's like right in front of your face and you're old enough to really like be able to take it in.
I think that's what it is. I long for an experience to like shake me. Like shit. And I'm not trying to speak it into the universe because it's a very daunting thing to ask. But like, I long for something to shake me now as an adult, just to keep me reminded.
What, to keep you humble?
That there are things out there, Maybe not keep me humble. I think I don't need no ghost.
You're pretty humble.
I don't need no ghost to do that for me. I'm scared of that. But like, just something to keep me grounded on, like, man, dude, there are still things out there that, we will never understand. And I'm just glad I got to experience it again, not being a child. So,
yeah.
Well, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. I feel like this was a fun conversation. Hopefully you guys also
enjoyed it.
Had fun contemplating. Like, let us know if there are any Mandela effects that you've heard of that we didn't mention here, because I would love to hear some of the crazy ones that like aren't super popular with other people. And see if we've heard of it.
That would be a good time also to plug some new things we got going on as well. It's not really new, but for anyone who didn't know, which is everybody, because we never mention on the podcast, we do have an email. So
this is true.
If you guys are trying to write in, you guys are trying to maybe even be on the show, maybe got some topics, got some questions, comments, concerns. If there are any negative comments, keep them to yourselves, because you're going to make me cry. I'm a very vulnerable man.
Why would you do that to him?
Yeah.
Come on,
man. I'm fragile. I'm 7. So you can find our email at thewoodsmanpod@gmail.com. You can also catch our new socials. It's just Instagram. There's no new socials.
Oh, we have TikTok. We
do have TikTok.
We haven't made anything on TikTok, but we're getting there. We're going to be starting that soon.
Listen, man, we're our own filmers, editors, writers, and social media managers.
These things take time.
But we do have that. Well, what's the TikTok again?
I believe on TikTok it is just the Woodsman Podcast. If it's the handle, I think it's the Woodsman Pod.
Nice.
I believe, but we'll put it up on screen just in case I'm wrong. But I believe it's the Woodsman Pod.
Nice. And you can also follow our Instagram at Woodsman Pod.
Yes.
All one word.
We're hopefully going to be doing a lot more posting and giving you a little insight and maybe some behind the scenes of what goes on here and what goes on with the whole process of this whole thing.
Yeah. Now, we can't promise that all of the posts for the episodes will be done on Wednesday at 12. But there will definitely be a post every Wednesday for sure, letting you guys know that your boys are still cooking in the cabin. Yep. So you
can also find me specifically if you want to just see anything I'm up to or go to my channels and everything. It's all on Piemaster J on Instagram.
Nice. And you can catch me at Strange Kids, all one word, on pretty much everything. And, we would do our coin toss tradition, but again, like always,
we forgot to bring it.
So Joey will be doing the next episode, even though technically...
You can have it if you got,
technically
if you got some stuff in mind. It takes less work off me.
Nah, I'm looking forward to see what our boys got cooking for this next episode.
All right.
But
I'll try and get us something good.
That's right. What's cooking good looking?
What's cooking good looking?
Well, we're your hosts, Brent Murphy
and Joey Rucker.
Stay safe and later, Gators.
The Woodsman Podcast is co-produced by Brent Murphy and Joey Rucker.
Engineered by Brent Murphy and edited by Joey Rucker.
Additional editing by Brent Murphy and blood, sweat, and tears by the both of us.
Any content by the Woodsman Podcast may not be used without our permission.